They're still going? This is so recent. I thought this was over by now.
Hey guys,
There's
welcome
more
back.
now?
More updates in the English voice actor space. So you may have seen my segment from the other day. Hopefully you saw that, because if you did, you're going to be more in the loop with this. But in that video, we read this statement from famous voice actress Jennifer Hale, where she apologized for losing her temper during a meeting. Now, I went on to explain in that video that I believe the meeting referenced here is a recent meeting that SAG-AFTRA held regarding the video game strike. And so Allegra Clark then responded to Jennifer Hale with a series of tweets. We're not going to read Jennifer Hale's statement because we already did. We're not going to read this whole thread from Allegra Clark because, once again, we already did. If you missed
They got mad at their own in a meeting?
the video, I'll link it in the description for you.
That's
However,
a good sign.
we will take a look once again at the first 3 tweets that Allegra Clark made here, because it seems like what she said here is specifically upsetting some other voice actors. We'll take a look at the anger. And for those that don't know, Allegra Clark is the VA for Beto in Genshin Impact. Specifically bringing that up because obviously there's the ongoing video game strike, but also the recent collective work refusal going on against Hoyoverse. And I suppose I'm using recent a bit loosely, but yeah, you get my point. So Allegra Clark had said, "I'm not privy to anything that happens during negotiations. What the current language is or isn't."
So this is completely separate from the drama with the autistic woman that was freaking out? Yeah. I'm guessing so, huh?
Or anything along those lines. But I am genuinely scared that this strike will have done more damage to the industry than anyone could have foreseen, whether quote-unquote AI wins or not. There's so much ugliness happening in the community. Mistrust, accusations, sabotage, and fractured friendships. Wow. Mistrust, accusation, sabotage.
Friendships in workplaces rarely happen, and I think people who especially work in the creative industry don't understand that at all. In the VA industry, it's really cutthroat, so like if I were in this job, which I never would be, but I'm just saying it's not real.
And fractured friendships sounds like a great community of VAs.
Yeah, the one using a toilet as a mic.
Sabotaging each other, insulting each other. Great stuff. Wonderful job, guys. But at least Allegra Clark is calling that stuff out, or at the very least pointing it out, which is certainly more than we can say for a lot of other English voice actors. And speaking of what we can say, also keep in mind I already gave my full opinion on everything Allegra had to say here, as well as what Jennifer Hale had to say here in my prior video, so you're not going to get my full opinion in this one, as we're going to focus on the next part of what Allegra says before we hop over to a Blue Sky and take a look at the aforementioned VA anger that seems to be directed at Allegra. The stakes of the strike are understandably massive, given that they have to do with how our voices are used in the future, whether we consent to any of it or are paid. Those stakes mean that everyone is on edge and everyone is passionate.
Sure.
My gosh, I don't recognize the industry compared to last year. This is a freaking nightmare, and I think it needs to end. Keep in mind that part about it needing to end as we hop over to Blue Sky, where that takes us over to voice actress Shauna Brier. But first,
why is it always Blue Sky, man? Why is it always Blue Sky? No, I need to have my opinion echo chambered in fucking Blue Sky because Twitter is too mean.
First, who is Shauna Brier? According to BehindTheVoiceActors.com, Shauna Brier is trending, guys. She's trending at a whopping 817th this week. Round of applause for Shauna Brier. They go on to say, Shauna Brier is a voice actor known for voicing Wook Lamat and Tomari. Take a visual walk through their career and see 4 images of the characters they've voiced. And yeah, let's take a look here. So
this is that character that everybody hated in Final Fantasy. I don't play Final Fantasy 14, and I knew about this character because of all the fucking memes that came out on Twitter. Everybody hated it. Even the people who are like love everything about Final Fantasy, they fucking hate this character.
So there's Wook Lamat, Tomo Ari.
That's so ironic.
Wook Lamat again, and this guy. Okay, back over on Blue Sky, Shauna Brier had this to say. Hey, I'm gonna be real. To all the rich VAs saying, this strike needs to end, quote unquote, because your bottom line is starting to hurt, suck it up. Those of us at the bottom who have a heck of a lot more to lose, are running Uber Eats, etc. to make it through this. The strike will end when the strike will end when we get our deal. Oh my gosh. 2,400 likes on Blue Sky. This post resonating with a lot of Blue Sky people.
It's so... you shouldn't be condescending like this when you're on a strike, man. It makes every side not like you even more. No, it's gonna hurt. Suck it up. Those of us at the bottom who have a lot of hell more to lose are running Uber Eats to make it through this. Next, they're gonna be like, I need to go to McDonald's and get a job to fight this strike. Also, please pay me.
Blue Sky. This post resonating with a lot of Blue Sky people. She continues. I was actually going to break my Twitter exodus to post this there, where the rich voice actors who actually need to see this are still posting. But the character limit there is too short. I mean, like... people making money.
By the way, rich VAs basically means anyone who makes a decent living. The ones that do it full time and don't have to get a second job.
Like, well, first of all, that's really funny. Like, calm down.
Oh my god.
But second of all, can't you argue that the voice actors who have like more jobs have more to lose? I don't know. I feel like that's not the best argument. Like, those of us at the bottom with 4 roles total in our whole lives have more to lose. It's like, bro, you haven't worked in like a year. Calm down. And this whole thing about those of us at the bottom who have a heck of a lot more to lose are running Uber Eats to make it through this. How is that?
Why would you ever admit to this, by the way? I would just, if I were in their position, I would just say I'm running a second job, not Uber Eats. It's kind of, it kind of just makes, it gives the people an attack point.
Good point. If anything, that seems
it's
like
not
it weakens
smart.
your argument. You've worked 4 VA jobs according to like behind the voice actors like ever. So clearly minimal work to begin with, and then on strike, so working even less, saying you're like running Uber Eats here and there to like get through it. That sounds like you could be doing a lot more. How is that supposed to make you look better? I don't get it. Like, is there a lack of self-awareness here with these people? Do they really think that's a good point? Like, gets 2,400 likes for saying that? Bro,
hold on. I want to look at this clip of their voice acting real quick. What is this voice acting? Is it amazing?
We slew Valiarmanda. A feat that even the great Gulul Chacha couldn't manage. For you, Papa!
Okay. I mean, that wasn't terrible. It was just cringe.
Come on, dude. Seriously? Look, man, when I was back working at the restaurant,
okay,
I knew people
this
who would
is
come in to pick
striking,
up
I
takeout 4 jobs
suppose.
like Uber Eats, and they were running like 3 of those apps at the same time. They would run like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and this other one I forget the name of, like Postmates. I think that was it. But they were running like 3 of these apps at the same time. And then like myself,
It's
I'm not
worse?
trying to make it sound like I'm better than anyone. This
They
is
pick
just
a nice
like
one.
what I was doing, for example, when I was first starting off on YouTube. I was still working at the restaurant back then, about 25 hours a week to 30 hours a week.
Yeah, when I first started streaming, I didn't quit my job until... February of 2024, so for a whole year I was working part-time, just like this guy. Yeah, because 25 to 30 isn't full-time, is it? I don't even know, but like, it's basically, yeah. Around March? Yeah, I think it was February or March, I can't remember, I think it was start of March.
On occasion, I would do Uber Eats, but I really didn't like it, so I tried to stay away from that if I could help it.
Yeah, that
As
shit
mentioned,
sucks.
I was still trying to get my YouTube channel to really take off, but I was making like a little bit of money from it. It was enough to help, help the budget. So I like those 3 things mainly: restaurant work, Uber Eats, YouTube. Then
Restaurant
on top of that,
work
though, in my
is
schedule, I was
rough.
also still going to school and training BJJ
And
as often as I could.
school!
So like, again.
See, that's a hard worker right there. He knows what he wants. I hate that people are like, oh my god, it's just so hard, like, working part-time and juggling YouTube and stuff. It's like, you do realize that it does pay off in the end. You have to have that mindset. Of course, there are people who blow up overnight. I totally get that. But 99% of the time, even people like Hirohe, who have he has almost like 1 million subscribers. He did start off somewhere.
I feel like these
And
VAs
VAs
have,
should
like,
look at
zero
that way,
self-awareness, or they're
too.
exceptionally entitled, whatever the case may be, because like, Yeah, wow. Well, guys, we're even running Uber Eats to get through this. Okay, a lot of people also try and make money on the side through Uber Eats or whatever they can. Except they also have a full-time job on top of it, or like multiple part-time jobs. Some of these people got multiple full-time jobs, and they got kids and whatever else. It
Yeah,
just seems like these
it's
VAs are
valid.
constantly making terrible points, and they never learn. Karina,
It's because they're so detached from reality that they can't relate to like normal people that have a 9 to 5. And that's why when they do these kinds of strikes and preach to the bigger, larger public audience, that's why they fail.
for example, go back to her again. Many great examples we can use her for. Oh, I'm not like those other VAs who are working like Jacob, who are scabbing those terrible people. I work because I've got autism and I'm disabled and I need the money more than they do. Ooh, and like,
Half of all VTubers are fucking disabled or have mental disabilities or have mental illness. You're not special, man.
Kaylee Mills similarly had said like, oh, Jacob doesn't really need the money. Like, these people, man, their points are so bad and they make themselves look so terrible. But then they go on Blue Sky and they get likes from other people who shockingly agree with them. But
Yeah, because it's this echo chamber. That's what's the problem. You don't get people criticizing you at all. On Twitter, I get hate posts all the time underneath like any post I make. I read them sometimes and I'm like, okay, all right, this is what just some random person thinks. If that shifts into a large majority, I would very much reconsider what I did on a post. Does that make sense? There's obviously schizo posters and people who are stupid and they're haters and they hate you no matter what you do. But if the large majority starts saying, hey, Alana, this is fucking weird, or Alana, this is a bad take, I would very much take a look. I feel like listening to your audience, at least to a modicum of a degree, and taking that as introspective is part of the fucking job of entertainment, which is VAs.
this is like a fringe of a fringe. Like, you might get 2,400 likes on a Blue Sky post posting some crazy stuff like this, but you got to understand, to like everyone else, you look like you're, let me rephrase, you're making yourself look worse. And really what I'm saying is advice for these people. But they'll probably hate me for saying that, call me an alt-right chud or whatever other words they can come up with that are absolutely meaningless and don't matter.
I didn't know what a
You know.
chud was for like a whole
And that
year.
actually takes me to the next part of this video. I was like actually forgetting about this. I probably wouldn't have ended up including this in this video, but this is such a perfect segue. You gotta see this freaking guy on Blue Sky. You guys are gonna find this hilarious. This dude is crazy on Hinge. He's really mad at me. Spoiler alert. Let's take a look. Hold up, got a little bit ahead of myself. One last thing to mention about Shauna Brier's post. While she doesn't directly call out Allegra Clark, her post was made on May 3rd. Allegra's was made on May 1st. And the whole thing where she's calling out people who say that the strike needs to end, it's very clearly implied to be about Allegra. Now on to this angry, crazy person on Blue Sky. So there's a blog post here. I think when I first saw this, it wasn't a blog post. It was like a long thread about this person disagreeing with SAG-AFTRA, if I recall. And so this like weird guy on Blue Sky starts getting all mad at the person for criticizing SAG-AFTRA. Starts saying stuff like, oh, so you're left wing.
Why do they always eat their own? Why?
While spouting right-wing hero hate propaganda, projecting gaslight. That's what you people love to do. You call Karina Trump. You people go through the MAGA playbook so well.
Who called Karina Trump in the first place?
I
Where?
harass, claim victory, repeat.
Karina's Donald Trump.
What the brain rot, dude? Hero hate, right-wing propaganda. Yes, the blue-haired femboy who says that the government is corrupt and corporations are corrupt. And that, guess what, SAG-AFTRA is also corrupt. Well, that's clearly like a right-wing extremist. By the way, I still reject the
Trump
label.
said the exact same thing, you're right.
And of course, we can presume the
So
context here is the
delusional.
person they're arguing with was probably labeled right-wing for criticizing SAG-AFTRA, to which they most likely said they're left-wing, given the context we see here. And this person, once again, is like, oh, so you're left-wing while spouting right-wing hero hate propaganda? Look at this brain rot. He's also mad at the Genshin community overall. This is just like Pomeranian of Doom, where they tried to say that the whole, like, everyone against the SAG-AFTRA strike is alt-right. So, oh my.
I think the funniest thing that every time Hirohei makes a video showing off how confused and divided the internal, like, the internal fighting that happened, the scabbing accusations, the people accusing the public of not understanding what they're quote-unquote fighting for, even though they actually have disagreements inside of the SAG-AFTRA, with the interim agreements that like let smaller studios to continue to work, but then that doesn't apply to the chick that works for fucking Hoyo. The lack of transparency, like they're making themselves look so dumb. Some of them are like, "Oh, we want AI protection." The others, and then the other side that are fighting internally on Blue Sky are talking about pay and shitting on the guy for scabbing. This is so for a union. This is so ununionized.
Speaking of Pomeranian Doom, friggin' of course that person's in this conversation. Oh my gosh, without fail, bro, without fail. Anyways, what started all this? Holy smokes! So.
Oh my god, look
another
at the
blocked
scrolling.
post.
What is a blocked post on... What's a blocked post on Blue Sky? You can't just see it at all?
Someone says, who started the harassment campaign? The striking VAs. Be for real, y'all are dumb as heck. And Pomeranian of Doom's like, I do not think that most of the Genshin community has any familiarity with anti-union propaganda.
Here we go.
Historically, this form of propaganda succeeds precisely by disseminating a villainous caricature of unions and their supporters. Dude, there is no caricature needed when a lot of these union VAs literally act like villainous caricatures, but unironically, like that's what they're actually doing.
They're so weird.
Oh my gosh. And so the next person's like, ugh, I'm trying to stay away from this, but calling out SAG does not equal being anti-union or being impacted by anti-union propaganda. Also,
you're not allowed to be anti-SAG-AFTRA and criticize how much you have to put down on paying the taxes for being in the union without basically being called like a right-winger.
Looking at it as an American, there are other countries.
So pathetic, man.
Pomeranian of Doom's like,
no.
Genshin fans are not merely criticizing SAG-AFTRA, they are opposing unionization efforts, cheering on strike breaking, and demanding that Hoyoverse further engage in more strike breaking. This is anti-union sentiment. No, they are actually merely criticizing SAG-AFTRA. Hope this helps. Within a single minute, I can go on Twitter and find a comment advocating for VAs on Hoyoverse projects to be replaced. It is 5,000 likes.
Yeah, because you found it on Twitter and not on Blue Sky. You just proved their
a lot of them
point.
should be replaced. They apparently don't even want to do the job anyways. The ones that do want to do the job seem like they're trying to actually get back to work. The ones that are part of the strike and want to do the job. Others have been doing the job this whole time. But let's see what this says. After learning more about the Hoyo strike, I actually have no issue with these recasts anymore. The voice actors are sabotaging themselves purely out of greed, selfishness, and stupidity. In fact, I hope the rest who are striking get replaced quickly too, so that this can be over. So this is supposed to be an example of what exactly, like, what they say is supposed to be an example of? Anti-union sentiment?
Yeah.
Not really. It's more of a sentiment of replacing people who clearly don't like the job and don't want to work with people who want to work, need the work, and actually like the work.
Well, it's not even anti-union. It's the union itself is not good. It's good. It's not. You pay out the ass for something that doesn't even work. You have to stay within the union, and it bullies people who aren't in a union. Why would you want to be in it? It's mafia. Yeah, exactly.
Continuing. And like the community that they're a part of too. Something a lot of these Genshin VAs have clearly come out and said they don't even like the Genshin community at all. Look at the stuff that Karina has said and or reposted. Same thing with Kaylee Mills, Valeria Rodriguez, and Shara Kirby, just to name a few really quick. Ava says, cool, where's the anti-union propaganda? I support unions the way they were intended. Still, I hope that Paimon will get recast ASAP. It's not
I hope VTubers never unionize. That would be terrifying. Imagine.
Connected to the fact they're striking. Oh wait, they don't. I forgot. But to the fact how much bad mouthing they do.
I would hate that.
And here comes the person we saw earlier who's really mad at me, saying, quote unquote, I hope that Paimon will get recast ASAP, and you ask about anti-union propaganda. Wait, but according to Paimon, she's not even a part of SAG-AFTRA. Didn't she say she's not a part of them?
No, she said she was a thought.
Don't even...
Wait, I thought Paimon... Oh my god. There's no fucking transparency or clarity. I thought she was.
Like, they don't even understand what they're talking about. They literally make up arguments in their mind and get mad at that, and then the stuff that they think they're defending, they don't even fully understand either. Holy smokes. Ava says, are you that dense? Angry weird person Dawson says, wow, just right to the ableism.
Calling someone dense is ableism. They didn't even call them retarded or a stupid bitch. Dance is now a figure of ableism. What?
Ableism? What? That was quick. How is this person real, bro? Billion-dollar company supporters don't surprise me
Dance
anymore.
is like so.
Ava says, "Okay, Karina, log
soft.
off." Dawson says, "Okay, Hirohei, log off." What?
Oh my
Pomeranian
god.
of Doom says, "Apparently everyone is Karina now." Ava, I didn't say it about the last person, but this account is really sus. Created 26 days ago with the second post being, "Feels good to post freely what you think." And using the same argumentation. Oh my gosh. I'm not much of a conspiracy believer, but this one looks hilarious AF. It sure does. Oh my gosh, dude, this is such good content. I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is like really
so
funny for me to read.
cringe. It's just two idiots fighting. Well, actually, no, because this person is an idiot for being on Blue Sky and arguing with them, but what they're saying makes sense. But then this person is an idiot because all the people are liking his post, and he's like, yes, I feel validated, yes!
Reign of Doom. This is a conspiracy mindset.
Getting the
It
likes, the
begins with the small
updates.
things. And when people become desensitized to the smaller ones, they become
They're
more
emboldened.
susceptible for the big ones. Ava, are you AI or do you actually not see that I'm having a serious conversation at this point? Jeez, Pomeranian of Doom. That is not the impression that I'm receiving. Ava, people can be serious about one thing and unserious about another in the span of the same discussion. I don't have the energy to continue the union part of our conversation since it's 3:30 a.m. for me, so I might come back to it later if I feel like it.
I really hope this person realizes that people who are living their life like this on Blue Sky are not on your side. They are terrifying. They're actually fighting them even though they're on their side and arguing with them about fucking semantics. And
yes,
this guy.
I was just messing with another person because the account was obviously created for provocation and the replies
Everyone's
are
a
provocative
right
too.
winger,
I don't really
bro.
see a reason to have a serious tone with people like that. And Dawson says, this account was created so that I can chime in on your and the Genshin community's alt-right BS.
Everyone who disagrees with me is alt-right. I've been called alt-right. It's crazy, man.
If you see it some other way, well, you're part of the problem.
Bruh.
Is this account serious? I already asked, like, this can't be real.
How do you consciously make an account just to harass someone? I did that kind of thing when I was like 8 years old on DeviantArt, and I would spam report accounts that would steal art on DeviantArt. Because it would make notify the staff faster if it was on different accounts. But I did that when I was 8, and it was also a pretty valid reason because I hated art thieves and people who would trace art and claim it as their own.
Right? This gotta be a troll
so
or a catfight or
childish.
something, but like, I don't even know. I like, they probably are real though, huh? This is just like average Blue Sky poster here. I do feel bad because there are some people on Blue Sky that are chill. I actually saw some actually talented artists on Blue Sky who just went there to post art. And then I see people like this though, and it's like, this is like the sort of stuff you'd see on Twitter in like 2020. Poor Ava. Can you imagine having to deal with Dawson and Pomeranian of Doom together? Holy smokes. 3:30 in the morning. That sounds terrible. And there's this blocked post that we can't see, but Dawson is once again responding to something here, and he says, the problem is the misinformation that is exploitative and pressuring. There was supposedly a copy of the agreement going around that was photoshopped, plus the bad faith videos being put out by Hirohei and other YouTube grifters. Hostility? I've seen the Genshin Reddit. Yeah, these people sure are original. It's always either grifter or alt-right or chud and bad faith. That's really funny coming from this person. But there's more. There's actually so much more. I'm not going to go through all of it because it's more.
Hirohei is lying to you and a racist. Guys, we've been watching Hirohei for a good couple of months. Has he ever talked about race? I don't think so. I don't think he's been racist. Maybe I'm racist and I don't even know it.
The same stuff we just saw, but here's a little variance. There's racist
I don't know how to
too. I forgot that's
distinguish
another
it,
one
right?
they really like. Racist. Hirohei's lying to you and racist.
That's all he talks about.
What's the context here?
You're so true.
Oh, it's
so
Kaylee
true,
Mills. Kaylee Mills says, wow. Igor says, we won. No more AI. Terrible VAs are now changed for better actual working VAs. Dawson says, full-time VAs are being switched out for part-time, less quality VAs. Igor says, And now they can too become full-time VAs and become even better than these terrible VAs that only know how to bully people, dox them, and lie. Dang, what a win. Dawson says, you guys should know all about bullying and death threatening.
Death threatening? Oh my god. This person made an account just to spend their time to insult people, and he can't even insult them correctly. Death threatening? That sounds like a heavy metal, like you're knitting. You know, like you're knitting and then you're death threatening. You're just like, yeah, fucking I'm listening to metal and like knitting a scarf. That's sick.
Igor.
I love that.
No idea about death threats, but calling out people for being pieces of garbage and lying about work conditions for a union that just wants profits don't mean bullying in my language. Hirohei is lying to you and a racist. Ain't no way that was his actual response to that.
This guy lives in his head.
Hey, I don't agree with a union bullying people and lying. Oh, Hirohei's lying to you and a racist. Like, first of all, dude never even said anything about me. And that's your immediate response? What on earth? That is such a desperate, terrible response. That's just so pathetic. I can't even believe that. So yeah, guys, if you're against SAG-AFTRA, you are not only alt-right, but also a racist and whatever else.
I am, huh?
Don't you dare criticize SAG-AFTRA. We might come up with a bunch of other buzzwords to call you over on Blue Sky. Igor says, no idea who that even is. Hope he burns if he's a racist. I don't know. You spout exactly the same talking points as everyone else in the anti-union side.
This is what I'm saying. You can't have opinions that are like on the fence. You can't like take one side and the other. They'll immediately start calling you a racist grifter.
The thing is, the pro-union side has been way too deflective and haven't been properly answering stuff we have been asking.
Man.
And the proofs we have been receiving are stacking against them. Except they have been answering stuff. The fan base just wants to twist the actual evidence around their own ends.
Proof?
The people.
Where?
Wait, what's this responding to? A different part? Oh, so he responded twice to the part about me here. The people saying the truth are the ones actively lying about their work conditions and breaking their global rule 1 then? Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't scroll out enough. There you go. Now you can see that. Okay, we'll take a look at one more example here really quick. This is just like 4 posts. Maybe a second one after. We'll see. And then we're going to wrap it up. But this person, Miku, says, after reading this Genshin EAVA drama, I think I'm going to support rather games. I think they mean other. So starting again with that change, I think I'm going to support other games that use non-US EN voice actors. European VAs also give the characters more personalities by having different accents, especially when they game country-oriented areas. Dawson says, so you're going to continue to support Hoyoverse then?
I'm gonna go to McDonald's for a Big Mac. Oh, so you fucking hate Burger King? No, I just want to get my McDonald's Big Mac. These people actually can't think rationally.
Where does this guy even find this post? He's just like looking for anyone
Holy
who's like
shit, what?
saying stuff like this on Blue Sky so he can come
So
and
you hate
bootlick this
waffles?
side.
Yeah, exactly.
What a joke. Miku says, I never supported Hoyoverse. The community was way too annoying for me, especially since they hate on every other gacha that exists. And then Dawson says, so what's the problem? Why are you also spreading Hirohei type misinformation?
This guy needs to like attach like a little high rise up here and put this guy on top and be like he lives in his head rent free, man. Actually, like make him like a VTuber model and then put Hirohei in like a high rise on top. This is insane. On Blue Sky of all things.
This person is literally just talking about an opinion that they have. This Dawson person is so unhinged. Like, I'm actually concerned. Bro, go outside, get some fresh air. Your behavior is completely irrational. And lastly, we'll take a look at this one. We've got another blocked post, but a response from Dawson and also a Mugen sighting. Dawson says, it's been like a month at this point.
What did Mugen do? He literally has zero political like or woke connotations. Like, he doesn't talk about woke shit. He just talks about Hoyoverse and Genshin and like little Japanese news. What?
This isn't about Jacob anymore. I'm guessing you're getting your news from Hirohei or Mugen or some other phobic drama tuber.
Phobic.
Right? I'm going to leave it there for today.
So
Bro
phobic.
is clearly the entire circus.
Mugen, you're a homophobe
but
now.
Yeah, we get the point. So let me know what you think about this crazy person. And also the VA stuff that we went over earlier. Of course, that's the main stuff. although this ended up taking a lot longer than expected, but it was pretty amusing to go through the second part of this video with this awesome
This must have been such an ego thing for
parts
Hero
of this
Hey.
video, though. If you did enjoy my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing, and there's lots more VA stuff to talk about, so I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you then.
Blue Sky must be such a content farm. I never look at it, but it seems like a content farm. How do you exist in real life? Do you just yell at everyone in real life and call them a Nazi because they said, hey, I might like X person's policies, it doesn't mean I like them? And then they're like, oh, well, you voted for them, huh? Oh, you must hate waffles then if you like Big Macs. They don't have the balls to do that. Some of them are mentally ill enough to yell at you in the street over stuff like that, but yeah, most of them don't. You're right. That's crazy. Go check him out. Go check out Hero Hey. He's a racist. Why do people not understand what an opinion is? Because they want everyone else to think like them, and when they realize that some people don't actually agree with everything 100% of what they are saying, and they might debate them, they start having cognitive dissonance, and they start freaking the fuck out. Yeah.